Having kids with someone does create a crazy bond.
But is it companionship? Because what you said is like a lot of people with kids are just still in companionship.
I think it can be companionship if you are not putting effort into it, if you're not conscious of it, if you don't have a sense of awareness, if you're not trying. Yeah, it's the easiest thing to probably do is to fall into just, hey, let's just try to take care of these things together.
Yeah.
And they're things. They're not people.
No,
they're children.
And they never will.
But yeah, that's the easiest thing to do is to fall. That's why it's so common, is because it's so daunting, so much to take care of kids that it becomes, you know what? I'm going to put these other needs and emotions of mine aside because it's too much to take it all on. So that's what people do. I think they just put it aside almost because they feel like they don't deserve to address those things. They don't deserve to.
It's a bit like the fat thing where it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a pile of shit in the garage.
Yeah.
And you have to organize it in your life. And it will be more, you'll have a better garage. Your life will be a little better.
And it's easy to avoid. You know what I mean? Like
of course. In some ways, the world's set up for you to avoid them.
And you always have a valid excuse, actually. It's very valid to be like, well, I'd love to address these things, but like, I mean, you got to get these kids dressed. And, there's a lot to do
school
here.
And
And people, they get into that pattern,
Did you feel bad on the road?
Yeah.
Great. No, but I'm saying, how did you deal with like missing?
I got really sad. I missed a lot of things. It was really like, I just had this realization finally of like, this is not like, this last tour was it was huge. It really was.
Yeah.
Especially for like the stand-up world. I mean, it was it's a lot.
How many, you had the number 276 or something?
The shows were 303.
303 shows.
171 cities.
It's insane.
Yeah.
How many arenas?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was just like,
and how old were your kids when you started?
That's the thing. I started the tour in August of 21. So they were like, what if I can like 5 and 3 and like, that's a lot of being gone during that time. Yeah.
It's a lot of milestones too.
It's a lot. Yeah. And yeah, of course, you FaceTime and you send videos and you send photos and all that stuff, but it's definitely not the same. I mean, I've been around now since the touring ended for a couple of months, and it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference.
For you or them or both? Both. What's the difference? Do you just feel like...
I just feel so much... I realize how there is no substitute for being there.
Yeah.
I'm so much closer to them. And you could tell that they're different with me. Like...
They're different with you. You're both more animated?
And like the younger guy, when I was gone during like these really important years for him. I was gone a lot. I'd be gone a week to come home for like a day or two, leave again for like a week or two. And he was just like, I would FaceTime him and or even if I came home, he'd be like, hello, I hate you. And I'd be like, hello.
Verbatim.
Yeah. And then it was like kind of funny, because like it's a
yeah.
kid saying it, and he wasn't saying it like seething anger, but he was just kind of like, I don't know. You come around, but you leave a lot. Like you could tell that was like the sentiment behind all that, It made me very sad.
How would you justify it? Would you go, because I've heard people say that they can't make their kids happy if they're not happy, or that,
Well, to me, like, I had people who were like, why don't you just like cancel some of these gigs? And I'd be like, are you out of your, I never thought that was a realistic thing to propose. I'm like, are you out of your mind? That's not how this works, man. Like, are you just going to cancel work tomorrow?
Yeah.
I just didn't entertain that idea that I'll just cancel some of these gigs, which in retrospect, maybe I should have. But I just didn't think that was realistic to propose. So I was just
and it's also your dream.
Yeah.
That's the thing that would be, I would imagine, is hard.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really think of it as like, at the time, I wasn't like, this is my dream. I was just like, I go to work. I'm going to work.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Going to cancel work? You're nuts. But now that I've just been around consistently, like that kid has completely changed with me. Like affectionate, telling me how much he loves, like, stuff that you're like, oh man. And I realize obviously it feels way better. And I also am like, I felt like, oh man, like he just didn't know how to express what he was feeling before too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he did because he was like, I hate you.
Yeah. He was pretty clear.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm much happier that I'm around him all the time now.
Is it a thing you would ever apologize to him for?
I'm sure I'm going, yes. I'm sure, yes. And I've apologized even in these times. Like, I'm so sorry that I was gone this much. And, like he's like, I mean, it's affected them where like when I go, I'm going, they're like, when are you coming back? Like, are you leaving? I'm like, oh no, I'm just going to do the podcast.
And Neal's podcast?
And then he's like, Neal Brennan did blocks. And I'm like, yeah. I go, you were watching 3 mics. I'm like, I got to check out that one. But they go, okay, but you're coming back. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming back like tomorrow. I'm like, no, tonight. I'll be back in a few hours. And they're like, oh, okay. Like that's from leaving all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet that was hard.
Hey, did you like that? Did you like that? Yeah, did you like it though? You want more? Don't want to work? Would rather watch videos of me grab-assing with people? First of all, go up here to subscribe and then go up here to watch more clips. This is like when the weatherman says there's a high pressure system coming in. I'm not really used to the green screen.